everyone. How are you all doing? I'm Shweta Singh and I warmly welcome you all to Q&A session. So I gave you one assignment. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
So may I see what have you done? Yes, Ishan, please you can turn on your camera and show me what have you made. Okay, Chaitra, just give me a minute. Just let Ishan first show what has he done. Oh, is it you are unable to turn on your camera? Okay, Chaitra, will you try?
Uh, ma'am. mm,
Are you able to turn on your camera?
Yeah, I think so. Just give me a moment, ma'am.
Okay. So who would like to show me?
Ma'am, I made it and
Hmm.
I came to my native. I forgot to bring it with me.
Oh, so just ask someone to, just have a picture of it, image of it, so that you can show, है ना? They can send you from there. Okay,
Ma'am,
anyone else?
nobody's in my house, ma'am.
Oh, that's sad. Okay, no problem. Yes, yes, Rishmita, please show me. Okay, Chatra, let Rishmita show. Okay, so you
Ma'am,
have made peat, lignite, bituminous coal, and anthracite. Very good. Please clap for her. Clap for her, everyone. Very good, Rishmita. Good try. Okay, yes, Chatra. Show me what have you made. Yes, Chatra. Kevin, have you made anything? Different types of coal was the topic, and I told you to show some creativity there. Yes, Chatra, do you want to show? Rishmita, you wanted to show, I believe.
ma'am, I showed.
Yeah, yeah, I'm waiting. Anyone else? Yes, Chatra, your hand is raised, but no answer from your side. And thumb is Isai, right? I hope I pronounced it correctly. Have you done?
Yes, ma'am. I'll show it 1 second.
Yeah. Isabel, have you made something? Oh, Kevin, what can we do now? So check your system actually. Okay, same problem with you, Isabel. So basically, there's some issue from your side, actually, from your device. I think the camera is disabled. Okay, anyway, so once you are done, please let me know. Those who wanted to show, you can just unmute yourself and tell me, okay, ma'am, I want to show now. So you can. Even, yes, Puvina?
Can I show on camera? See?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm moving ahead. Those who, okay, here we get from Thami's side. Peat, lignite, let me see, let me see. Okay, so you have written all the important points related to it, and here you have bituminous coal and anthracite. So, have you made or you took the picture? You pasted it.
I drew that.
You drew that. Oh, great. Please clap for her. Good effort.
Ma'am, I wasn't able to move the pointer, so I just rejoined. Can I show now?
Yeah, sure. No issue. Very good. Anyone else who want to show? Okay, Chatra is showing what is it? I believe you actually you are showing the formation of coal, right? Different forms of coal, how are they formed? Is it, Chatra? Yes, so you are actually showing the process in which it is formed. Good, no issue. So please clap for her also for her effort. Very good, Chatra. Fine. So let's move ahead now. We studied about the coal. Actually, we studied about the different types of coal where we saw according to the carbon content, we can have different quality of coal. The worst quality in which the carbon content is very less, that is
Peat. Worst.
peat. Yes, it is peat. Then after that, we have a better quality of coal than peat, and it is known
Lignite.
as brown coal, and that is lignite. Okay. And then better than lignite, we have
Bituminous coal.
bituminous coal, and the best quality of coal is
Anthracite.
very good. That is anthracite. So we have done about the coal. For today's session, we should know two things. One is sediment rock and second is decomposition. I believe you have studied about the sediment rock in social studies, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
So what
Ma'am,
is sediment rock? Any
ma'am,
idea?
The
small sediments like form up on a piece of
ma'am, can I say?
impurity over time.
Just wait a second. Who wants to say?
Ma'am, Chaitra.
Yes, Chatra.
Ma'am, sediments, they're basically the like sediments of rocks which have broken down, which have been compressed, which have been like compressed under high temperature and high pressure, which form sediment rocks.
Anyone else who wants to say something different about it? About sediment rock? Anything different you want to speak about the sediment rocks? You are free to say. No one? Okay. So basically, same thing. The small particles start getting deposit. Yes, yes, Ishan.
The small particles which get compressed due to heat and pressure and they form rocks. They are called sediment rocks.
Exactly. That is the rock which is formed by the deposition of particles on the existing rock. That is your sediment rock. And decomposition, we studied in the last session. What was decomposition? Yes, Ishan.
Ma'am, like when the like dead bodies of living organisms and plants they decompose due to bacteria and like they become
So what
fossil.
what is decomposition? You said decomposed by microbes,
The
but what is
breakdown of the particles
exactly?
Yeah, the breakdown.
Exactly. Breakdown of
into
complex
simpler form.
molecules. Breakdown of complex molecules into simpler one. Exactly. So these are the two things we should know before starting the topic of the day. And the topic of the day is formation of coal. And maximum you can get 3 marks question out of it, right? So formation of coal is the topic of the day. So we are going to study formation of coal, and if the time allows us, we will also study about the destructive distillation of coal, but only when the time allows us. But first we will focus on the formation of coal, and we would try to learn whole the process in the class itself. Okay, let's start now. Okay, so when we say formation of coal, we have a little bit idea because when we were discussing about the different types of coal, we said, few things about the formation of coal. So first, what happens? First, the trees and other plants that grew in swampy areas, means wetland areas, right? Wetland areas. So, which grew in swampy areas when 300 to 400 million years ago, right? 300 to 400 million years ago, they died. So, what are the key points here? Trees and plants which grew in swampy areas, or you can say wetland. Just give me a second. Okay. So grew in swampy areas when 300 to 400 million years ago. Right? So this is the another keyword here. 300 to 400 million years ago died. So plants and animals which grew in swampy areas 300 to 400 million years ago, they died. Now, after this, what happened? When they died, their remains got buried, right? Their remains got buried in the swampy soil, right? So their remains got buried. That's the next step. After this, what happened? Over the time, right? Over the time, they are covered with the layers of sediments like mud and sand. This is something we discussed in the last session also, but now actually the topic is formation of coal. So we are seeing one step by step how is coal formed. So it started with the death of the plants and animals 300 to 400 million years ago. They grew in the wetland areas, or you can say swampy areas. And after that, they got buried in the swampy soil. After they got buried, their remains were covered with the layers of sediments like mud and sand. Now, when they got buried and their sediment got deposited over them, then low oxygen condition arise. Okay, low oxygen condition occurred, and the buried plants formed black, dark brown, not black, but dark brown material called peat. Now here comes the first form of coal. So do remember, in low oxygen condition, right? They got decomposed and formed dark brown material that is called peat. So what are the condition? One is low oxygen and second is high pressure, because sediment started getting deposited on it. So high pressure and low oxygen. So here forms the peat. Okay. So gradually more and more sediments got deposited over peat. So now peat is getting compressed under the more sediments. Fine. And it gets compressed between the layers of sediments and forms what? Lignite. Right? Low oxygen condition is still there, but the pressure has increased now. And what is formed? Lignite. Okay. Now on lignite, what will happen? More and more sediments and further compression results in bituminous coal. So what is happening? Step by step, more sediments getting deposited over them, and more they are getting compressed under the sediments. And when bituminous coal got compressed, then they form anthracite. Right? They form anthracite. Right? So do you want to see the steps once again? Or is it clear?
Clear, ma'am.
Everyone?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so let's see in, yeah, okay, let's see this way now. The same thing we are seeing in other way. So here, The ancient forest covered much of the land surface. Now, here many trees are there. So, we are talking about 300 to 400 million years ago. What happened? So, there were trees and all. They got buried. They died and got buried under the anaerobic condition. Anaerobic condition means the same thing. The low oxygen condition. There is shortage of oxygen. Fine. So, the vegetation died and got buried under the anaerobic condition, and that forms peat. Here get formed what? Peat. And what is peat? We discussed that is made up of partially decomposed organic matter. Partially decomposed organic matter. So you can see the thickness of the peat, 50-meter thick. Here we are seeing 50-meter thick is the layer of peat. Okay. Now, after that, what happened? Millions of years passed, right? Millions of years passed, and the peat become buried, right? The layers of the peat become buried deeper below the sediments or the earth, right? So that got deeper, buried under the sediments and compressed into lignite. Compressed into lignite. So you can see the layer of lignite now. This much is the layer of lignite. We had 50-meter thick layer of the peat, and now we have just 10-meter thick lignite layer. Okay. After that, hundreds of millions years passed, right? Hundreds of millions of years passed, and now lignite got buried under more sediments. Fine. And the pressure increased, and the lignite got converted into bituminous coal. Now you can see here bituminous coal layer that is only 5-meter thick. Okay, that is only 5-meter thick. Now just see here. Here, the bituminous coal, now it is getting compressed more under the more sediments. So what happened? The deeper burial, years of increased pressure, and the heat transform bituminous coal into harder anthracite coal. So you can see here, this is the layer of the anthracite, 5-meter thick only. So you just see, how did you start? You started with the peat, right? And millions of years later, it became lignite. Hundreds of million years later, it became bituminous coal. And after 300 to 400 million years later, it became anthracite. And the layer is getting thinner because the compression is there, less amount of the peat is getting converted into lignite, lesser amount is getting converted into bituminous, and then finally anthracite. Am I clear with this?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry? Yeah. Puvina, tell me. Who was asking? Ishan or Puvina?
Ishan.
Yeah, Ishan, tell me.
Ma'am, my doubt is that the plants, how did they get underground to get compressed? I mean, how did they reach underground?
Okay, so you just see whenever the branch or the leaf that fall onto the earth, you just leave it like this. Leave it like this. What will happen? Days after the days, week after week, the dust and the soil and all, somebody will be walking over them, right? So what will happen? They will start getting buried under the particles of the soil, isn't it, Ishan?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And now this is getting buried for millions of years. So just see how much layer will be over them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is that blue part, ma'am?
That's the water showing there.
I
Water.
mean, how did it decrease?
No, it's not decreasing. Actually, it is showing the swampy area. The swampy area has got the moisture, no, lot of water, no.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, so here we can summarize whatever we studied, because it could be, your 2-mark question also. Describe the complete process of formation of coal. So we can just simply summarize it like this. The wordings I have taken from the NCRT itself. Okay, so first, what do we write? About 300 million years ago, 300 million years ago, dense forest in low-lying wetland areas got buried under the soil. I'm just taking the words from the NCRT. Now we have understood. We are just noting down the points that we should write while describing the formation of coal. About 300 million years ago, dense forests in low-lying wetland areas, or you can simply say swampy areas, got buried under the soil. Then what happened? More soil deposited over them, compressed them, and temperature also rose, right? So pressure increased and temperature also increased. Do remember, this can be your objective question. What condition do we need? High temperature and high pressure. So got compressed and the temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Fine. Then under high pressure and high temperature. So do remember what are the conditions required? High temperature and high pressure. The dead plants got slowly converted into coal. That is the summarization of whole process. Now you can get a term known as carbonization. Do you know what is carbonization?
Only the formation of it with the
Sorry? Once again, Chetra. Who gave the answer? What is carbonization?
Ma'am, like when the coal is getting compressed and more carbon is getting produced. I mean the
Yeah,
coal.
okay, I understood. So basically, just simply have to write the process of the conversion of organic matter into carbon, right? Into carbon, that is carbonization. When the dead animals or plants, so basically their organic matter actually gets converted into carbon. So that process is called carbonization. That carbonization can be due to heating, can be due to fossilization, any thing could be the reason, right? So this process of conversion of organic matter into carbon is called carbonization. Do remember it, right? So you can even write down the definition of carbonization: the process of conversion of organic matter into carbon. That is called carbonization, right? I hope this is clear to you, whole of the process of formation of coal. Now let's do few
Can you
questions.
repeat
Yes.
carbonization
Yeah.
definition?
Yeah. Carbonization is the process, is the conversion of organic matter into carbon. Okay, so Dipti,
Okay.
if there won't be swampy areas, then the conditions what we require, no, that won't be created. Low oxygen condition we require. We require, high temperature also. These conditions actually come into the picture in swampy areas. Understood?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, in the process of carbonization, where does this swampy area come? I mean, what is the use of swampy areas in carbonization?
This is what I said. See, I told you, Ishan, the carbonization can be due to heating or can be due to fossilization. Now swampy areas are required for the fossilization purpose. The fossils which are made here, like coal is a fossil, right? Coal is a fossil fuel. So for that, swampy areas are required. I just explained, Sudipti, that swampy, the conditions what we require, that is low oxygen condition, high temperature, they built up actually in the wetland areas only. Okay, Shan?
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. Okay, so we were talking about the questions now, right? So here comes the first question. Name the best quality coal.
Anthracite.
Anthracite.
Exactly, that is anthracite. Fine. Explain the formation of coal. So we can just do in a form of flow chart, right? So who can say the first line? Yes, Chatra.
Ma'am, so
First line
first,
only. First line only. Yeah.
the first, so basically the trees and the organic matter, they get decomposed. The vegetation die and it gets buried under anaerobic conditions, forming peat.
We can write it in better way also. Yes, Ishan, do you want to say just only the first step?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, when the vegetation or when animals die, so
Hmm.
they get a layer of covering like with time. Like
No,
suppose
you are missing very important point here. Very important point here. Yes, anyone? Anyone else? Yes, Chatra.
ma'am,
Ishan?
in
Yeah.
anaerobic conditions when they like get decomposed and
No,
when they
I'm just saying that's the step which will come later. What's the first step we should speak about?
So, ma'am, in swampy areas,
Yes, first you need to
trees,
mention the swampy areas. That is important.
uh,
Or the wetland. Right.
yeah, wetlands, the
Yeah.
vegetation that grown and in swampy areas over millions of years, they die and the remains get buried.
300. You have to mention
Okay,
around 300 to
300 to
400 million
400
years ago,
million years.
they died.
The,
Okay.
and the remains got buried in the
Yes,
soil.
that's it. That's it. I want to move it further with other student. So she said that in the swampy areas, the vegetation they died and got buried under the swampy soil 300 to 400 million years ago. After this, next step. After this next step, Chatra, you have given the answer. Next step.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, over time the sediments got deposited on top of the plants, so due to pressure, they got
Not the
formed
plants,
into
not the plants, but the dead remains.
that remains. So due to the pressure, they got formed into coal
And one more point. The
with
pressure
high
increased.
temperature.
No, 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 no. Very
No
important.
oxygen.
In
Yes,
low
low oxygen condition. In low oxygen condition, what happened? They started getting decomposed, right? And
Yes, ma'am. And they got formed to coal.
so partially decomposed vegetation or the organic matter that formed peat, right? So
Yes.
these are some important points. So when you write, no, what happens? You miss some important keywords. That is very important to write. Okay. So what happened? The peat, how is it formed? In the low oxygen condition, when the organic matter that got compressed and started getting decomposed, the partially decomposed organic matter formed brown colored substance that is called peat. And after that, I hope you can write everything. The more sediments got deposited under high pressure and temperature, they formed what? Lignite. More sediments deposited and they got compressed more, then they formed bituminous and finally anthracite. Okay, so I hope everybody can write down now. Fine. So you Google form is shared with you. Can you see in your chat box? A Google form is shared. Don't forget to fill up that form later. Okay. Fine. So here question for you. Coal is used in generating electricity in a nuclear power, thermal
thermal
power,
power
from
station.
thermal power station, thermal power
thermal
station.
power plant. Very good. Okay. Different varieties of coal differ in moisture, volatile nature, carbon content, or number of
Carbon
hydrogen atoms.
content.
Carbon content.
Content.
Carbon content.
Carbon content. Very good. Okay. Oh, I gave the answer. Which
Anthracite.
form of coal contains the, you know this, anthracite.
Right.
Exactly. That's anthracite. So here is one more question. Which is the purest form of carbon?
And then coke.
Coke. So we will study about the coke when destructive distillation of the coal will be done. So these are the questions that we will discuss after the destructive distillation of coal. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Shall we move on to the destructive distillation?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So I'll just introduce it today. I'll just introduce the destructive distillation of coal today, but we will be doing it in the next session. I'll just introduce it to you, okay? Wait a second. Yeah. So let me introduce this topic to you. Yes, Ishan, your hand is raised. Why is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
It's not.
so here we did the types of coal and we did the formation of coal also. And now when we start doing the destructive distillation of coal, I would like to show you this picture first. This is the industrial setup of destructive distillation of coal, the industrial setup. And the next one is the lab setup. How is destructive distillation of coal done in the lab? This is how the whole experiment setup is done. I'll show you once again. This is the industrial setup, and this one, the lab setup. Yeah. So for this topic, what are the prerequisite? We should know about the carbon. Do you know what is carbon?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is carbon?
It is an
What is
element.
carbon? Carbon is an element. Okay, and if you know metal and non-metal, so carbon is a non-metal. You must have heard about the graphite and diamond. So graphite and diamond both are completely made up of carbon only, but they have totally different properties. Why? Due to the different arrangement of the carbon. How are the carbon atoms arranged in graphite and diamond? On that basis, their properties totally differ from one another, right? But they are different forms of carbon only. Okay. Now, you know the coal. We have discussed in detail about the coal. I don't have to ask you. Coming to the topic weightage, so it carries 1 to 3 marks. Destructive distillation carries 1 to 3 marks. So in destructive distillation of coal, we are going to study about the coal gas, coal tar, and coke. Okay, so these coal gas, coal tar, and coke, they are nothing but the products which are formed on the destructive distillation of coal. Right, so there's a small story for you about the destructive distillation of coal. So there was a town known as Coal Town. Okay, so Coal Town, why was it called to Coal Town? Because there were coal mines in the coal town, and 100% employment of the people there was due to the mines only. Okay, they were earning through the mines only, so that's why the town was called Coal Town. And few students, just like you, few students actually visited the coal mines there in the Coal Town, and they saw the conditions of the mines. So dark, so suffocating. And then also the people are working so hard inside the mines. They were thinking like, is it so important? Is coal so important in our life that people are ready to work in such harsh condition? So the manager over there, he actually described the importance of coal then. He said, okay, students, you know that coal is used for burning purpose to get energy by burning, but there are other important products what we get from coal. And then he started explaining about the destructive distillation of coal. Right. So what did he say? What did he tell about the destructive distillation of coal? This is something we'll be studying in the next session. Okay. Fine. So I would continue this in the next session about the process of the destructive distillation of coal and what are the different products we get from the destructive distillation of coal. Okay, but now today what you can do, I believe you got the login IDs, or if you haven't, you will be getting very soon. So you will go to the class 8th platform, click to the assessment part, go to the science, and then look for the chapter coal and petroleum. So let's find out where is coal and petroleum. Yeah, here comes coal and petroleum. Then view topics. You will be getting different topics of coal and petroleum, like list the byproducts of coal processing. No. Classify resources as inexhaustible and exhaustible. Yes, you can attempt this. Discuss how coal is formed from vegetation. This is something you can do now. Right, today we studied this how coal is formed from vegetation. So please attempt the questions from this particular topic. Okay, and tell me how much did you score. Fine.
Ma'am,
So
which topic, ma'am? The both of them.
your wish, if you want you can attempt both of them, but at least the topic what we did today, discuss how coal is formed from vegetation, please attempt that today. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
fine. So now I'll just end this session. We'll be doing destructive distillation of coal in the coming session, and after that we will discuss about the petroleum also. Right, so we will be discussing petroleum in the next class. Today we discussed only about the formation of the coal. Don't forget to revise it and attempt question on the platform. Fine, thank you everyone, take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
And don't forget to fill the Google form.
Ma'am, I already did that.
Thank you, Akshat.
Um, I
Ye-
have a doubt.
yes,
When I'm trying to get into the Q&A platform, like they ask a few questions, right? Like, so when I'm trying to select grade and exam and all that, it's only giving the options for grade 11, 12, and 13.
because you are going to Q and I. The login ID and the link will, I believe, has been shared to you or will be shared today. So
Ma'am,
you are actually.
ma'am, I did the proficiency diagnostic test, but I haven't gotten anything like a login ID or
The report will be discussed today itself. You
yeah,
must have got the mail, right? So today in the
yes.
evening hours, the diagnostic
But
report will be.
the ID and login thing I have not got. I believe few of others got though. Most people got, and few people also didn't get.
Okay, I'll just convey this. Is this Chatra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just ask about yours. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.